Good morning.
Good morning.
I don't have any audio, boys. I can't hear anything, just so you know. Maybe my pack's not on. I'm not sure. But we'll start with Jenny. Jenny,
Good
how was
morning.
your weekend?
My weekend was, I'm exhausted. And a shout out to all you parents with little ones who come in your bed. Dude, so shout out. Great job still being a human being.
Why, did you have all the grandkids? And
I had 2 grandkids, and the 3-year-old slept with me, kicked me all night long.
Had the Jimmy legs going?
Yeah, it was. Does she ever stop? Does she ever stop?
She takes after grandma. It's called karma.
Yeah.
Hey, but the nice part was, as soon as the night was over, you're all here. You have to give them right back, right?
Yeah,
so that's cool.
So shout out to all y'all.
Good, good, good. Well, I went to Catalina this weekend.
Yes, and how was that?
Catalina Wine Mixer.
Yeah.
The Catalina Wine Mixer. It was great. I mean, the weather wasn't great, but I got to go out on Zing's boat. They had a 75-foot boat out there, and I did the really cool, take the helicopter thing back. So, I felt like I was the Bachelor.
Yes,
you know
nice.
I mean? All the girls were like, pick me! I'm like, sorry, I already got one. But it was a good time. It was a lot of fun.
Good.
But anyway, so should we jump right in?
Sure.
Okay. Hey, I really want to know. I know there's quite a few people on. Tommy, I want your honest opinion, okay? And all you guys out there, what do you think of the backdrop? All right, the boys picked the backdrop.
Put it in the chat.
They have
really,
big,
what do you
goofy
think?
smiles on their face right now, and they love it. But I thought the rocket was applicable to the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, since that's how it was created, right, Jenny?
Yeah.
Remember, so Mel Robbins was watching TV, saw a blast off of a rocket, and that's how it all started. So, but a lot of stuff to go over today. We're wrapping up the book today, Jenny. All right, you like it. Carolyn Humphrey likes it. That's it. And Amelia likes it.
All right,
I'm done.
We're done.
We're doing it. Congratulations, Michael, Adam. You guys did something right. All right.
Oh, lighting looks good.
All right.
That's what we've been waiting for.
Thanks, Amber. So, all right, we'll jump right in. So today we're going to be talking about all kinds of different stuff, but this is the fun stuff. You'll like this, Jenny, because it's more touchy-feely.
Okay, good.
All right, so this is about the difference between, the beginning is about the difference between productive procrastination and destructive. And we're like, oh my God, procrastination again? After eat that frog and all that stuff, but it's a little different. And I like it. I like it. So we'll start out with productive procrastination. Productive procrastination is, when you do that you have that creative project coming up or, something that you have to do, and you set it aside, and then you spend days or weeks or whatever letting your mind formulate what you want to do with that particular project. Now, that's the easiest to do when your project is a little bit out into the future. So that extra time makes it more creative and kind of enhances your project.
Okay.
And creatives are really good at that, and then they'll come back and all of a sudden knock out a lot at once. Does that make sense?
Yes.
I'm kind of doing that with my book right now. It's kind of at a standstill, but so your mind just sometimes needs to have time to kind of take a break and wander and kind of create some fresh new ideas, as opposed to destructive procrastination, which is the one that that if you don't get that work done, there's going to be negative consequences. Those are the ones that most of us probably feel. When we think of procrastination, you don't think of the positive, wonderful one where you're going to go do good, amazing things. You think of the one that can be like, shit, if I don't get this done, Chuck's going to yell at me, Margaret's going to yell at me, people are going to pay the price, it's not going to be pretty, did you get this done, did you get that done, you're going to be like, no! So that's the difference, that's the negative one. So, and here's what I thought was cool. Procrastination is not a form of laziness.
I love that.
All right?
That makes me so happy.
It's a coping mechanism for stress.
Yes.
Right? So when you're not doing something, it's not because you're just lazy and want to lay on the couch and flip through the TV. You literally are avoiding it because you're avoiding the stress that's involved with doing that particular project. Or, even more importantly, and I thought this was cool, you're avoiding the stress of something else going on in your life, which I thought was interesting because I never really looked at it that way. So, and a lot of times people are not making a deliberate choice they're not deliberately choosing not to do it. It's just happening that they're not doing it. They're not saying, I'm not going to do that. They're saying it just starts to get away from you.
You don't realize you're doing it on purpose, but you really are. Everything is on purpose.
Right.
You don't know you're doing it on purpose.
And the book equates it that the destructive procrastination is like emotional eating, but for the mind.
What are you trying to say?
No.
I feel attacked.
Did I say you?
Totally attacked.
I didn't mean you. No, I'm just saying I thought it's funny, because emotional eating is real. You know what I mean? Like when you're stressed out.
Chuck? Is it real?
Yes, it's very real. It's very real. Very real. So,
do you think you touched a nerve this weekend?
I know. All right, let's move on. All right, so here we go. This is true. Here we go. See, Dana? I've never thought about it that way. That's right. See, we're not lazy. We're just,
I love that.
Stressing about other things, Dana. So remember that when we replace difficult tasks with doing something easier. Do you remember we talked about that, Jenny? It's just real easy because we get that temporary mood boost and a good feeling. Like when we come into the office, or when you guys as real estate agents or salespeople out there come in to do your work, doing the mundane, easy things make you feel good.
Right. So is that the opposite of eat that frog? I don't understand. What do you think?
Yeah, it is. It is. It's just about avoiding. It's the same thing. It's avoiding doing the bigger things because the little things feel good. When I poured my coffee this morning, that felt pretty good.
It felt just now taste it. Does it taste fabulous?
It does. It's fabulous. But the whole point is, like, I probably should have come in and like make sure my tie was straight, or straightened up or whatever. But so it's and so the bottom line and all that though is we choose the easier things, but the other stresses in our lives are what cause us to procrastinate the important things. And one of the big sections in here was this one gentleman that they were talking about, who they did a little case study in the book on financial stress. Like him and his family were like just destroyed, like financially, based on some things that happened. And because of that, he was so financially stressed that he could not get his jobs at work done. And I think you've seen me. When I'm stressed, when personal things are going on, like I can't get anything done. I'm procrastinating everything because you're a mental mess. So a lot of times the procrastination is not linked to not wanting to do that job, being lazy. It's about being distracted with other things in your lives that is taking you away from doing the important things. Do you ever get like that?
Yeah. Yes.
So, I think that applies to a lot of us that, and I've always said, like, when you try to come into the office, for example, and I'm just going to use the personal thing, and your life is a mess, like you're in a big fight with Jeremy or something happened or whatever, and you come in and you're trying to focus and you need to make your calls, you need to do this and that. Do you ever run into that problem?
Oh, for sure. Or, you're thinking about your kids, like they're not doing well or something, and you just can't get past that.
Right.
And your heart hurts, everything just hurts, and you're like, wait, I gotta write these postcards. How am I gonna do this when the tears are starting to roll down your face,
No, for sure. And there's a whole section on that.
Oh, yeah?
And it talks about kids, and you're stressed about kids. That's coming up too. So it's really funny that you said that. So there was stages of procrastination. It was almost like stages of grief.
Oh.
And the first one was, Jenny, we need to forgive ourselves for procrastinating.
Oh,
forgive yourself, everybody. You're allowed to procrastinate once in a while. It happens. And
I love that.
But here's the thing. There was a study in there, and I'm not sure which professor it was, but whatever, or it was either Cornell or Harvard, whatever. But psychologists have uncovered that people that procrastinate are generally the people that are hardest on themselves. So there is a personality trait, and it's funny because I have a couple of really, really intelligent friends that should basically be ruling the planet right now. They should be emperor of the planet, but they're so hard on themselves that they get stuck in that analysis paralysis, and they just never make the big decisions because they just overthink it. And so procrastination people are genuinely harder on themselves.
Yeah.
Which I thought was interesting, and I guess that'd be kind of true.
Yeah, I bet everyone would agree with that. All of my fellow procrastinators.
Fellow procrastinators. And then one of the ways to, and here's what we really want, right? So we can talk about procrastination. We can talk about destructive procrastination. And the part I like about these last chapters as we move through this book is she tries at least to give you some ideas on how you can overcome these things.
Okay.
And we're going to be talking today about anxiety, panic disorders, like all kinds of stuff. But the cool part is you're not just talking about it getting all stressed out. She's saying these are the things that you can do to deal with those.
Okay.
So, and I thought the way to overcome the procrastination, it was interesting. And she said, and this is a line you hear me say all the time, do things that future you would thank you for. You've always heard me say that, right? Like do something that down the road, future Chuck's going to go like, attaboy, you're my boy, Blue. You know what I mean? You're looking back at you in the past saying, thank God I bought that rental, or thank God I made those phone calls, or thank God I got on Elevated Network, or whatever it may be. But she didn't say it that way. She said, what would future you do? And the way that she says that you need to move past destructive procrastination, and I thought it was really funny because we've been doing this for years, vision boards. And she said that, based on, so if it's work-related things that you're procrastinating, get yourself pictures of you in that car, you in that house, you with your family, you on those vacations, you doing all those things, and actually build a future board that says, if I don't procrastinate these things, this is what I'm capable of. So I like that because I'm all about that future you.
Yeah, I think we should do that again, do the vision boards.
You know what? I like that idea.
Yeah,
Who should we put in charge? We should put somebody in charge.
That's actually helped me with my weight loss. I look at pictures of me when I'm skinny.
Well, you made me send you one of the opposite too.
Yeah. I take a picture of me fat and then send it to me, down the road.
I'm not quite sure that's what she's saying with the future you, but yes, that's close. So and so with the vision boards, so that was the suggestion, and I like that. Me too, Adam.
Jessica said that. Jessica Wills.
That's the one that lost 126 pounds. Mm-hmm. That's right.
You go, girl.
That's right. Good job, Jessica. So, and a couple of the other things is you'll either find a way to get those things done, or you'll find an excuse. And a lot of us can find excuses. We could have found an excuse not to do the show today. I mean, if we really wanted to. Like, oh my God, it's raining. And in California, we don't know how to handle it when it's raining. So, the other thing is, and here's the next one, ready? And this is the stuff that gets me excited. I hope you guys like this too. The name of this chapter, you ready? How to become the happiest person you know.
I love that.
How to become the happiest person you know. And they linked it to one thing, or she did, confidence. To be happy, you have to have confidence in yourself. Does that make sense? Adam, does that make sense to you?
Yeah, absolutely.
To be happy, you have to have confidence. And the cool part about confidence is, according to Mel Robbins, is that you are not born with it. It is not a character. It is something that is a skill that is built over the years by practicing acts of everyday courage, which I agree with. I agree with, because a lot of times in her setup, she's talking about the ability to be a public speaker. Because she said when she did her first TED Talk, she had never done anything like that at all. And so she was a disaster. And then every time she has learned to become a public speaker, and she's had to train her mind to not be nervous and freaked out and psyched out and all that sort of stuff. But as she has done those things more and more, her confidence has grown to where now she can do this. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
And like for me, people have always asked me, like when we do our big events and stuff, like, do you get, like Margaret would always come up to me, like I remember the big one, we had 1,000 people, and she's like, are you scared? Are you nervous? And the honest to God truth was, I'm not. And the reason that I'm not is because I have so much experience doing it, and I've done the building blocks, and it all started like when I was 23, I was teaching at Mount San Jacinto College. And I taught for 3 years, and I was up in front of 60 kids just practicing. I was teaching American government every day, practicing. And that's what it's about. It's like taking these little steps. The first day I probably walked in, and I'm like, Chuck, and I watched it. When I ran for city council here in Canyon Lake, I watched an old speech, and I was like, okay. I watched the speech. I don't even think I said one friggin' word. It was and okay the entire time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
And so, but over time, whatever it is that we want to get good at, or whatever we build confidence in, you just get, to take those little baby steps along the way to get better and better and better. So whether it's a listing presentation, for example, after you've done 20 of them, I think if Jennifer Murphy's going on a listing presentation, she's going to be just fine.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're some of the newbies that were here on Wednesday, they're like, freaking out.
Yeah.
But as it gets easier, just one step at a time. So confidence is a skill. Just by practicing acts of everyday courage.
Okay.
All right, so now we're going to get real.
Okay, oh gosh.
We're going to get real. I have respect for this lady because of one of the things that she covered in here, and I've always said, like, I appreciate people that are authentic and are open and emotional and just tell the truth. And she talked about how she's been taking antidepressants for 20 years. And that's near and dear to my heart just because I've had family members that have had to deal with that. I mean, we know lots of people. I mean, if you're in real estate, you've probably taken antidepressants at some point. If you have kids, you've probably taken antidepressants. If you've had to deal with Adam and Michael, you've probably,
we have a whole support group.
Yeah, we do. So, but she suffered from an anxiety disorder.
Okay.
And then she also suffered from postpartum depression.
Oh, God.
And so because of that, after her kids were born, she was taking tons of Zoloft. And here's what was funny is she was taking she was taking the Zoloft to try to control her behaviors, right? So we know people that have done that.
Yeah, I daily think, do I need to go back on? Do I need to go back on?
So, but see, like admitting that you've done it is cool because people need to know that because a lot of people have.
No, yeah, totally.
And I know people in this company, top producers that got completely addicted to Xanax.
Yeah.
And it just happens. And people are doing it to try to control their behaviors.
Right.
And try to make sure that you don't have the highs and lows, right? And the heavy-duty emotions and the hardcore depressions and all that.
And being a spaz, we all take them for different reasons.
Right. So, so that is her attempt to control her behaviors.
Yeah.
However, the point of this book is for us to try to control our behaviors without having to do that.
Yeah.
But
it's tough.
But I will tell you, I mean, It is so helpful for some people.
No, some people, and it's chemical. You may need it, so don't ever feel like it is a stigma. This is one of my huge platforms. We have got to take away that stigma of mental health being bad or whatever, for lack of a better term.
I know some very dear friends that were doing really, really great, and they made a decision that they were no longer going to do it, and they went off the deep end. You know what I mean? I mean, you got to be really careful. So just do what makes you happy. But whatever. So.
Yeah.
But she was able to avoid using Zoloft. After 20 years, she was able, using this program, to get off it. And she said that, you know, you first have to learn how to break the addiction of worrying and negative self-talk.
Well,
because
there you have it.
I would say, you know, from what I understand from my family members and everybody that has been involved with the antidepressant thing, I think that anxiety and worry really is the two things that you're trying to overcome when you're doing those, when you're you know, hitting Zoloft or whatever. And she basically says that trying to break that addiction of worrying and negative self-talk using that 5-second rule, you know, and the science of habits and the power of gratitude, those 4 things, right? So you can break the addictions, self-talk, habits, good habits, and the power of gratitude, which is cool. She's going to get into discussing like the realistic way that she was able to do it, you know, and it's not going to work for everybody. And
Right.
I don't even want to tell people to do it because I've seen people go off the deep end.
No,
when they
no,
stop.
no. You just follow your own path by all means.
Right. So anxiety and panic, and you know and I mean I won't lie. That's one of the things I deal with. You've seen me deal with it, Jenny. You know? I do.
We were praying for him to go get some medication.
Were you really?
Yes.
Oh, that's so funny. I tried everything, magnesium, all that sort of stuff. But it's just
Yeah, we do magnesium.
a lot of times, time cures things too.
You're absolutely correct. If it's not a chemical thing, you're absolutely correct.
So we have
give yourself grace. Everyone needs to give themselves grace.
I know, but you know, when you get caught up in those moments of anxiety or you get caught up in those moments of panic, like I wouldn't wish that on my worst friend. You know, I wouldn't wish that on anybody, you know, that because anxiety attacks and panic attacks, and I don't know if you guys have had them out there. Anybody that's on planet Earth probably has had them at some point. I've known people that, you know, I mean, when I went to buy my first waterfront house in here and it was so expensive and stuff, I had such a panic attack that I actually called an ambulance. And I thought I was having a heart attack.
Aww.
And it was just stress because I was making a big purchase. You know what I mean? And I had never done that. I was like a kid. You know what I mean?
So do you feel that is your body trying to tell you something? But I mean, it ended up being a great decision though.
Yeah.
But sometimes I wonder, is our bodies really trying to tell us something that we're not willing to listen to?
Well, and that's kind of what she talks about. She says you have to, like your anxiety and your panic, you have to learn what it is that you are having your anxiety about and your panic about and what you're not. So
okay. She
says, you know, that we start, and I'll use it like social media, like when you pull out your phone and you start looking at stuff, you start going down a rabbit hole. Have you ever seen people go down rabbit holes? And next thing you know, they're watching friggin', you know, Bob Ross and like, you know, painting or something. But, you know, you have to remember when you go down those rabbit holes, you just get so, at least for somebody that has anxiety, and which I do a little bit, you get so focused on one thing that the entire world is blocked out and it's the only thing you can think about. And so according to her, you have to remember to try to interrupt it with that 5, 4, 3. You have to interrupt that thought process.
Okay.
You know, 5, 4, 3. I'm gonna check out of this right now. Like, oh my God, you know, like, you know, I have relationship problems or this or that or whatever it may be, or you know, my mom is sick or you know whatever it may be. And so you remember to try to interrupt, refrain, and then as you continually interrupt that, and I'm gonna get more about that, and eventually eliminate that anxiety from your life, constant interruptions. But I'm gonna give you a little bit more details.
Okay.
But actually, let's go back to that. So I don't know if it's your body or mind. Some of it is just fear. And for me, and I don't know about you guys out there in the world, but I have anxiety attacks when I lose control. When things are going on around me that I cannot control, I'm a control freak. You know that, Jenny.
I am so proud of you right now.
I know. This is like a therapy session.
I am so proud.
Look at me, Adam. I'm letting go. I let you put this. Look at me go.
Look at you go.
You're just aware of it and you're proud that you're a control freak.
You know what? You're just going to own it.
It's the first step to is admittance.
But you know, when and I don't know if you're the same or if there's other people in your life that are the same. You know, different anxieties are caused by different things. You know, like so mine is just when things are happening that are out of my control because my life has been so in control for so long.
Right.
That's when I lose it, and that's when the panic comes in and the anxiety. Like when you said you had to go do what you did for a while and you're not doing it anymore. Like what was your problems? What was causing? Was it kids?
I can't even. I've been on it a long time. I was on what? Like Jennifer Murphy. What was I on? She's so good at remembering my medications.
Prozac.
Was it Prozac?
Yeah, that's what you told me.
Prozac.
Okay, so go ahead.
You're right. I felt my eating disorder coming back. There it is.
Yeah.
I felt it coming back, which is a control thing, because usually eating disorders has nothing to do with our appearance. So I guess it is control.
Yeah. But, you know, and that's for everybody out there. You know, we all have those anxieties and panics that overtake us, you know, and I know that this show is all supposed to be about motivation and, you know, doing the best you can with your business and stuff, but getting this shit under control is huge.
That's how we get our business back to being elevated.
Right. You know, and I was talking to the girl that we had interviewed last week that was from the other company, which we won't talk about. And
That's funny. She just popped in my head too, and I was like, "Oh my God, I wonder if she's on. I'm gonna die of embarrassment."
Well, we were having that conversation I was with her that, you know, like one of the things about working at this company, for example, I will tell you right now, and I almost want to F-bomb this because I mean this so much, we are not about the effing money.
No.
I do not. I mean, hey, money's great. It's
Money's
fun.
fun.
I went to Catalina this weekend. It was great.
Yeah.
I was able to take a helicopter back, $300. Ooh, it was great.
Right, because you had the money because you worked hard.
But the kicker in all that is, you know, life is not about money. Life is about being able to overcome your anxieties. Life is about being good people to other people. Life is about being able to deal with panic attacks together as a team, as a family on this call.
Right.
You know, life is about being a good person. Life is about supporting you and you supporting me and me supporting these boys over here, you know. And it's just, and so if we're not balanced in our life, physically, mentally, you know, anxieties, family, spirit, you know, yes, finances, goals, you know, all that sort of stuff, you're not living a full life.
No.
And so that's really what I want. Like, that's what this show's about. Like, this isn't making any money, but it's just about all of us trying to, like, make our way through and muddle through this life and live our best life and be the best we can. So when I'm talking about anxiety, or we're talking about Zoloft, or we're talking about Prozac, or whatever, it's just to try to make everybody better. And hey, let's all try to hide our crazy and do the best we can to be as solid as we can. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because we do have to hide it sometimes.
Yeah, of course we do. Hide your crazy.
Or nope, we're going to be like Southerners. We're going to just put them right there on the front porch.
But, you know, I think people might like it. So, you know, but anyway, so, and I do appreciate the authenticity. Like when Jenny's sharing, you know, these things, or when I am, I mean, we're doing it because why have anything to hide?
No.
Who cares?
Right.
Own it.
Who
you guys all
cares?
are just as jacked up as the two of us.
That's
so just
right.
Deal with it.
And
all
what's
right.
so great is I feel like all these people, I could reach out to them if I, you know what I mean? And I hope they feel that with us. When you're feeling that, reach out. We're here.
Well, and
our friends.
And, you know, here's another thing I have to say. So I'm getting way off topic. I'm really sorry, but
it's all right.
Divorce.
Ugh.
I want to talk about divorce. You've been through it. I've been through it.
Yeah.
All right. If you have a friend, or if you have somebody that's going through a divorce, reach out to them and check on them. Because God forbid something ever happens to you and you need to do it on the same for you. If you have somebody that has lost a parent or a sibling or a child or anything, which happens, and we have so many people, we see it all the time, reach out to them. Don't be afraid. Call them.
Don't be
check on them. You know what I mean? Like, you owe that to them because someday you're going to want somebody to do that for you. Am I getting all preachy again?
No, it's okay.
All right.
No, because it is so scary. We don't know what to say, and we're so scared we're going to say the wrong thing. And I mean, we've had some devastating things happen within our company, and we don't know what's right to say to these wonderful friends of ours. So I think we just need to send love.
Well, I can tell you when I and this, I'm not trying to make this all about me, but when I did get divorced, there were certain people that checked in on me. I know exactly who they were. I know when they did it, and I will do anything for them forever. And I know the people that didn't.
Me too. People checked out, and then 20 years later, they're back in my life. So like, oh wait, you were right. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. But it's so just check on people.
Yeah.
You know, spread the love on people. It has nothing to do with this freaking book, and I have no idea why I'm doing it.
It's okay. No,
I'm gonna get back on track.
The universe told you to do it. That's good.
All right. So third and finally, and you're gonna like this one. Anchor thoughts. So when we're trying to get over anxiety, when we're trying to get over fear, when we're trying to get over panic, you have to use something called anchor thoughts. Remember she talked about that earlier. I'm going to explain anchor thoughts.
So isn't that, I feel like Brian Tracy and Tony Robbins.
Similar, but this one was different. It's different.
Okay.
It's definitely different. So I'm going to come back to that.
Okay.
So, and there was a little poem that was in here that I really liked. It's life is amazing, and then it's awful, and then it's amazing again. And in between the amazing and the awful, it's ordinary, and it's mundane, and it's routine. So breathe in the amazing, hold on through the awful, and relax and exhale during the ordinary. That's just living. Heartbreaking, soul healing, amazing, awful, ordinary life. and it's breathtakingly beautiful.
I love it.
And so, you know, it's, what are you laughing about?
Nothing.
I liked it.
I love it too. It reminds me of like the stock market right now. Like it's amazing. It's awful. It's ordinary. Like that's just my life right now. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
But you really, I mean,
No.
but it is. You know, it's a freaking roller coaster ride. Mm-hmm. It is a freaking life is a roller coaster
And that's why,
ride.
if you don't love roller coaster rides, it's probably really hard to navigate
Anxiety,
life.
fear,
Yeah,
panic.
yeah, like in the movie Parenthood.
Yeah, I know, right? You just want to sit on like It's a Small World and go the flat one all the way around.
No,
but it's not. It's the freaking Colossus.
No, enjoy it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Colossus. Wasn't that at Magic Mountain?
Yeah.
Remember that the oldest wooden. Was
That's
that
right.
the oldest?
That's right. That's right. Oh, by the way,
the
I was
first
talking to. Oh, geez. She just had a birthday yesterday. Rising, Jordan.
Yeah.
Jordan, yesterday I texted on her birthday.
Uh-huh.
She was at Universal Studios.
Ah.
So they are open, Disneyland,
Yes.
all that stuff. So anyway,
Good. I
All
wonder
right.
if she goes back to Disneyland.
So this is a good one, and I wish this should be a whole book.
Okay.
This section should be a whole book. And listen, don't check out of me right now. This is really good.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
This section's called Stop Worrying, because we talked about that, panic, worry, anxiety. Stop worrying. What we've learned at the end of our lives. So this dude, Dr. Pillemer from Cornell University, you're going to love this, Adam, took 1,200 senior citizens. I've always wanted to do this. Did massive surveys and interviews and all this to say, what would you have done differently in your life? So right when people were getting ready at the end of their lives, sat them all down, filled out surveys, talked to them, did all this stuff to come up with, what would you have done differently? Wouldn't you love to like get somebody like, when they're on their deathbed and say, what's the secret?
Yeah.
What am I missing out? What should I have done? And so he did it. All right. So the problem is they only spent like 2 sentences on it, but I'll take it. All right. Here's what he said. At the end of their lives, the number one theme for all of these 1,200 senior citizens, all of them, I wish I hadn't spent so much of my life worrying.
Yep.
That was number one.
Yep.
I was surprised. And I get it. And I don't know about you guys out there, but do you feel like, do you guys worry? Because I worry a lot. Do you worry a lot,
I'm
Jenny?
not a worrier.
You're not a worrier?
And I don't know when that, I can't, probably because I can't, I shut that down. Otherwise, then I'm in a fetal position in the corner if I worry.
Yeah.
So I just let it go. Jeremy,
Let him worry?
I let it, he worries enough for the whole universe.
So when in doubt, find a spouse or a significant other and let them worry.
Yes.
Dump it on them.
If that's their personality, it's not my yeah, okay, that's what's shitty, but yeah.
No, I love it. I love it. I'm gonna do that.
No, I'm not a worrier. It does not serve my purpose in life to worry.
Right.
Because I can't change so many things. Oh, I just got it. We had to go to Al-Anon as kids. That's when I learned not to worry.
You had to do what?
Go to Al-Anon.
It's for people who have
are
spouses, right?
Spouses or parents who are parents alcoholics, grandparents alcoholics.
Oh, so everyone.
Yeah, right. Back in the 80s, we didn't acknowledge that everyone should be there. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'm just opening up today.
I know.
Here's Jenny.
That's funny. Sonia, just tell me, obviously you've heard us talking about the anxieties and all that stuff, and unfortunately, given that Sonia's been my life coach, that poor lady, half the gray hairs she probably has are from me, dealing with all of my anxieties and panic and stuff. But Alateen.
Yep, that's
Kelly
what it
Kyle
was.
said.
That's what it was.
That's right, Kelly.
Were you there with me? We probably were friends.
We're probably friends. So Sonia, what are you thinking? What are you seeing when you think about worry and panic and anxieties and all those sorts of things? What's your take? The life coach, Sonia.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. This weekend, I actually could have been a panic attack, but I decided to have a glass of wine and deal with it. I got a call at 12 o'clock from Oak Grove, and they wanted me to speak in front of 350 people at 6 o'clock that evening. And I began to think, I'm supposed to have 2 or 3 weeks to prepare for this, not just 6 hours. But then I went back to kind of where you're saying the confidence. Many years ago, I took Toastmasters. I started building on that, and I went forward. But the glass of wine helped tremendously, I will tell you that.
When in doubt, drink.
What we're looking at is confidence. I think confidence when you know what you're doing and where you're going, and you've built on your talent in the past. You can draw on that, or your experiences and your challenges, and you can draw on that and go forward. So the anxiety is more, can I do it? Am I capable? Why me? There's so many other questions that you ask yourself
Right.
when you're going into that anxiety mode. And then if you've got the confidence, it takes care of a lot of it.
True story. True story. And that being the case, kind of moving on from that too. So when you are having those issues, Jenny, according to Mel Robbins, when you are starting to worry, when you are going down the rabbit hole, when you are having anxieties, when you are having those fears, she says that the key is to catch yourself immediately as you start to drift early. Because, a lot of times when you do get into those worries or concerns, whether it's financial or whatever, sometimes by the time you try to deal with it, you're so deep in it.
Right.
You got to catch that thought right out of the
Yeah.
gate. So that's something you can help me with. If you see me slipping down that rabbit hole, like, bitch, slap out of it. You know what I mean?
On. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah. And then, so you have to try to catch it immediately and then try to regain control. And, for her, there's a big chunk of her time where she catches herself 10, 12 times a day using it to not let her brain slip off down into those worries and all that sort of stuff. And this comes down to what you said earlier, Jenny. Feelings of love. And more than anything, feelings of love often trigger her worry. And she used the example of her daughter. And she said that her daughter was trying on prom dresses. And, trying this on and trying that on and trying this on and trying that on. And then she put on this one that was just killer. She said, and she completely fell apart because she realized that her daughter was growing up and would be gone soon and is going to be out in the real world by herself, living her life because she was graduating from high school and doing all those sorts of things. And, the worry and the fear kind of were hijacking her mind and robbing, her of the magic and wonder of the moment.
Yeah.
So watching her daughter get dressed and when she walked down the corner, like, Mom, what do you think? She lost her shit. You know what I'm saying? So I thought that was interesting. I don't have daughters and, not a woman, but does that make sense, what she was saying?
Yeah.
So, and here's who she says the real enemy is. Your inner voice. That inner voice that talks to you, that takes you down that rabbit hole, that tells you you can't be a good realtor, that tells you you can't get more business, that tells you, I don't want to make all those calls because what if somebody yells at me or comes across salesy?
Well, like what Sonia was saying, she said, "Why me?" And I know I don't know she was coming from the place of like, "Why me? Why would they want me to do it? And why not you? Of course they would want you to do it, and of course they want you to be their agent. Of course they want you to be your title person. Of course they." No, you're fabulous, and that's what you have, that inner voice. Of course, me. Why wouldn't you want me on your show?
That being said, Sonia, if you think about it, and I know I don't know if you thought about this that way, but listen to this. What a compliment.
Right.
When they got into a pinch, 350 probably supporters and people that keep that school open and financially and all that sort of stuff, and parents and everybody. And they had 6 hours, and they had to determine who is our badass go-to.
Exactly. It was
Sonia Linden, baby. That's where we're going. Sonia Linden. All right. So that's a positive. I like that one. So when that inner voice starts to creep in, you have to ask yourself 2 questions, and that is, what am I grateful for in this moment? So for her, her daughter walks around the corner, she's falling apart, she's getting fearful about her daughter's future, what could happen, all this stuff. What am I grateful for in this moment? That's the first question that we need to ask ourselves to overcome worry. So I want to remember this too.
Yeah.
And the second things are, in this moment, what do I want to remember? So what am I grateful for? And and then at this moment, what do I want to remember about this moment? Because it forces us to focus on the positive and what we are grateful for. And so for her, she said, I have a wonderful daughter, and I'm grateful that she's found an amazing dress at this moment, and I got to be here for that moment. So that's how she was able to overcome that worry and stress of that particular thing. And I don't know if that example resonates with everybody, but I thought I would share it anyway. So, and feeling grateful, and I thought this was interesting. And Sonia, everybody out there, gratitude, right? Everybody always says, you need to always be aware of your gratitudes. Even when you're in prayer, like you have to pray, like don't just go call on the big man and say like, please help me get this chick back, like whatever. Or you have to say at the same time, like, thank you for this, and be grateful for that, and be grateful for this, and thank you that I have a nice house, and thank you that I get to be lucky enough to work with two great guys like Michael and Adam, and wonderful Jenny, and like, so grateful, right? They're always talking about be grateful, be grateful, be grateful, and everyone, whether you're Anthony Robbins, whether you're Brian Tracy, you know, any of these guys. And so I've always wondered, like, why do they talk about that so much? And this actually gave me a little bit of an answer. Feeling grateful creates a chemistry in your brain that activates your brainstem region and produces dopamine.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Science.
Did you know that?
No.
Well, now you do. Look how smart we are.
Look at, you're so smart.
Aren't we smart?
No, and there is always something. I know some days you just don't feel, what do I have to be grateful for? You actually have the pillow. You know, you actually have
that's right.
the one pair of shoes or a toilet.
Let's do this, Jenny. Let's do this. Everybody out there in your brain, say out loud 3 things that you are grateful for right now.
Out loud or in our brain?
Well, we can't hear them. They're muted.
Oh.
So just say it. Say it. All right, Elizabeth, John Hill, Janie, 3 things that you're grateful for. I mean that. You two over there, too. You're not getting out of this. 3 things you're grateful for. Say it to yourself. You too, Jenny. 3 things. All right? What are you grateful for? Think about it. 1.
You think about
Tom
it.
didn't say anything. Tom? I can think of a couple. Ruth's still with you.
Nah.
Okay, so you're still here. Your kid's smarter than you are. There's 2.
Yeah.
All right? No, I'm just kidding. But, you know, I mean, there's plenty of things. Right? What do you got, Tom? What are you grateful for? What did you think of?
I think, Chuck, as we get older, we start looking back and we're more grateful. We realize what we've experienced. So I am very grateful for my family, that they're still with me. Grateful that I'm able to, that I have this, I really love my job, as you know. And I'm just grateful that I'm able to do the things that I'm able to do. So
do you feel like saying that out loud, Tom, made you feel better?
No.
All right, scratch this chapter. All right, my retirement, my home, I like it. You know what? Hey, you know what? Type them in the chats, guys.
Yeah.
Type them in the chats. You know what? Hey, it's making it real, John Hill.
Or comment on Facebook.
Yeah, or actually comment on Facebook would be great. Yeah, comment on Facebook would be great. So anyway,
yeah, later, go back on under this and let's each at least put one thing we're really grateful for and try to pull it out of.
I like it.
Go deep.
All right, and now we're going to move on to the next thing, all right? Okay. It's still worry, but it's being scared. So, so here's the bottom line. It's okay to be scared. And here's what I love. This made me feel good, Adam. Even though when you try to beat the happiness out of me, this part made me feel good. Here it is. Ready? Being scared means you're about to do something really, really brave.
That's what Sonia has said before.
Right?
Yeah.
Being scared means you're about to do something really, really brave. You know, so, you know, whether you're, you know, I mean, whatever it may be.
Whatever it may be.
I mean, I'm thinking of the things that are applying to my life right now, but I thought that was cool, you know, and you have to just, and that's the best way to, you know, look at it. So the next chapter was ending anxiety. And this came back to, do you remember how this said either the day runs you or you run your day?
Yes,
remember we talked about that last week?
Yes, so
this is a good one too. Either rule your mind or it will rule you. Rule your mind, and this is Horace, you know, the Greek philosopher and poet. You know, rule your mind or it will rule you. So just how you have to get control of your day, you have to kind of do the same thing with your mind, which is what we're trying to do here. So anxiety happens when your habit of worrying spirals out of control. We talked about that. So the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, you try to reframe it, which is what we're doing, right? And try to focus on the positives, like we said, and catch it when it first kicks in. So here's the problem, and I think I have to agree with this, and Sonia, you coach enough people to agree with this, and it's just the truth. Some of us were just born anxious.
Yeah.
Some of us were just born anxious. Like you said, oh, I'm pretty chill, I'm pretty happy, you know. I'm not. I am an anxious person, you know, and it talked about how, you know, the anxieties, and it talked about like, you know, she was talking about her friends and women and dating and all that sort of stuff and going to parties, and how like her and her friends would just get trashed because she had so much anxiety meeting boys that she would have to drink and drink and drink to be okay to have the conversations with you. So booze is one way that people have dealt with that anxiousness. And just kind of, we have to be reactionary because there's just those things inside of us all. And then she describes that there's normal panic versus panic attacks. Normal panic. So someone swerves into you when you're driving on the freeway. Oh shit! You know, you pull your car over, you know, or whatever, and you're like, oh, but your mind goes, okay, I have an explanation. I know why that happened. I'm feeling okay.
And your whole body does this.
Have you ever
and
done
then,
that
like,
afterwards
and
you're
you're
shook
like,
up?
It's awful.
It
That's
is.
the proper application of the fight or flight.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, so, but your mind has an explanation for that because somebody swerved into you, right? So that's normal panic. And a panic attack is when your heart races, your breath speeds up, you get sweaty, you have hyper awareness of everything that's going on around you. And that's when I was talking before, like maybe you're having a heart attack. And maybe you're having a heart attack, and I've seen this happen. Maybe it's because I don't want to get married. Maybe I'm going to get fired. Maybe I'm going to go broke. Maybe I'm dying. Maybe I'm getting sick. Like real people that have real panic attacks.
That's so awful.
It could be spurred by anything, you know. And I'm sure, I guarantee you, Sonia on her life coaching calls has seen many people dealing with panic attacks because once they start to talk about all the shit that's going on, they probably fall apart. You know what I mean? Like me. All right, it happens, you know. And it's always these worries and worries and worries. So that's the difference. There's normal panic and the panic attack. So, and some people are so afraid of having panic attacks that they give themselves panic attacks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No, I can't have another
Yeah.
panic attack, and then they have one.
Yeah.
You know, and I got to admit, that one might apply to me. That's why I've stopped drinking coffee. You know, I'm starting to drink coffee again, but I had to go through that thing for a while.
Yeah.
So again, you know, she was talking about, you know, her Zoloft for 20 years, and you know, the hard part is when you see your kids having anxiety attacks. Do you ever see that?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
or them freaking out or dealing with panics or fear or worrying and all that sort of stuff. It's just she says it's one of the most heartbreaking things you can do.
Because you can't. You just want to take it, and you can't.
You would
just
love to take it, huh?
Because I can handle anything. But hopefully we've raised them so they can handle anything too.
Right? Well, hopefully. So, you know, and trying to just calm down when you're having a panic attack doesn't always work. You have to reframe that anxiety. So that being the case, excitement and the way that she says to overcome anxiety, this is a big one. She says that excitement and anxiety are similar feelings. And this is a study that they have.
Yeah.
When you're really, really excited, it's a lot like anxiety. It's just a little bit of a negative way. So, you know, and so by reframing your anxiety as excitement, that's the way she was able to deal with it. So for her public speaking, for example, you know, when she's, you know, or maybe before a big race, Tom, you know, back in the day when you would have the anxiety and, you know, you want to throw up. I remember all that stuff too, right? But if you would reframe it as, you know, I'm not having an anxiety attack, I'm excited, you know, then, but if you try to reframe it, that's how she suggests doing it. And it worked for her. So I'm not saying, you know, and I don't know if am I spending too much time on anxiety? Because this is just what the book said. I'm almost done.
No.
So given the situation, saying you're excited, you know, it does lower anxiety. And the feeling is just the same. And I like that. And so we moved on. I'm not going to spend too much more time on this. So next chapter.
Okay.
You're braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, Jenny, and smarter than you think. Braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, and smarter than you think. And her big issue, one of the things that she was fearful of was flying. Does anybody else have issues with flying?
I love it. One of my kids hates it. I love it.
Oh, okay. Well,
I love roller coasters, though. I love it.
So for her, this is where her anchor thoughts came in. This is what anchor thoughts are, and how using the example of overcoming the fear of flying. Like I remember, like Sam Loya, when we would go, he would grab my arm. He was holding on to my kids. It was kind of creepy, but he was just so scared in the plane. You know what I mean? So
I think those are control freaks. I wonder if you hate to fly, because she hates to fly because she's out of control.
Right.
I think I love to fly because I'm out of control.
It sounds like Sonia's certainty-uncertainty tests, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? But so anchor thoughts are, and here's how she suggests doing it, and you can move these to the other parts of your life. So one time she was flying to Idaho, and she was going to see friends. And she was thinking about hiking Tabletop Mountain. So she starts to use that future self, visualizing herself hiking to Tabletop Mountain.
Okay.
She was going to Chicago to do an event, and she knew some of the people that she was going to be there, and they had a dinner schedule. So she was thinking about having dinner at this cool Chicago steakhouse. So you kind of have to try to skip the thoughts of that moment that you're doing now and looking ahead to future self. So that's just how she suggested it. And the moment that she saw something on the plane that made her nervous, like some turbulence or whatever, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, images of where I'm going, images of what I'm going to be doing. And she said you just cannot let those fears hijack you. And you have to use that interrupting 5-second thought. So next chapter.
Okay.
How to become the most fulfilled person you know.
There we go. This is what it's all about right here.
Number one, and Sonia said this, learn the surprising connection between confidence and personality. Because a confident person generally has a big personality. Okay. Number 2, everyday courage helps you discover your passion. And now we're moving into something that I really enjoy. We're going to move on to finding your passion. And creating deep and meaningful connections and relationships, bring tissues, all right, with people also will do it. And that's one of the things I've been doing a lot lately. Like when I've had people over or whatever, like people are having a lot of issues. I mean, just maybe it's COVID or whatever, but lots of people crying and doing all that sort of stuff. But how to become the most fulfilled person, ready? Number 1, confidence and personality. Number 2, try to find your passion. And number 3, deep, meaningful relationships. So that's makes sense. And just also being aware that there will always be someone who can't see your worth. Always be somebody that doesn't think you're amazing, Jenny.
I know.
Don't let it be you. Okay? Don't let it be you.
So as long as I think I'm okay, I'm
Yes.
okay, you're okay. Remember that book back
Yes.
80s?
Yes. So number 1 was confidence, right? Confidence and personality. So there was a quote that she had in there that said, "The cave you fear to enter, holds the treasure you seek." Right? So the cave that you're afraid to enter holds the treasure you seek. Getting out of your box and going into a dark cave. I don't know if that makes sense though, but that's what it says. And confidence is not about personality. Anybody can be confident. And again, it's a skill. Becoming confident is a skill. I mean, Adam, when you first started here, how confident were you about, your ability to work all the things that you're working now? You're probably a little nervous, right? What imposter syndrome?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Imposter syndrome, which is where you fake it and you try to act like you know what you're doing. But eventually now, there's very little that you and Michael can't do when it comes to audio, putting up these TVs, the microphones, everything. But you've grown and become more confident with those skills that you've developed over time, right? Same with you, Jenny. I mean, you're in a show now. Are you nervous at all?
No,
But you were.
I was. I guess it's totally different, yeah.
Yeah.
Just nervous about what's going to fly out of my mouth.
Well, I'm nervous about what's going to fly out of your mouth too, but yeah. The next thing is, and it's not really about having to be gregarious extrovert, because sometimes the quietest people you know might be the most confident.
I think that's more true. I think
people are attracted to that.
Yeah, I think the quieter someone is the more confident
The
they
strong,
are.
silent type. You know what I mean? So, so one of the exercises she says to start building confidence, I used to fly, Tom Wysocki, that's true, 125 to 150,000 miles a day. But introducing yourself to 3 strangers a day is what she suggests to build confidence in your people skills. It's a little difficult with COVID, but, and it's just built through those actions. So she defines a good life. A good life is made up of small steps, making tough decisions, being able to say no, and getting out of bed on the first sign of the alarm.
Yeah.
So kind of learning to trust yourself. But
Yeah.
this one I like. And I want to encourage everyone out there to do this. And remember how we were talking about deeper relationships? There's a whole chapter here that says, speaking from your heart, even if your voice shakes. And you're really good about that. And that's one of my favorite things about you, is you're not afraid to talk about the experiences you've had that most people might keep to themselves. Because it helps people, and same with this show, like being authentic. We could sit here and be phony and tell you that our lives are amazing and everything is perfect and blah 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 blah. And Janie could get in there and say this is great, but Janie knows, Sonia knows, Tom knows, John Hill knows. Life is not perfect, and it's those honest moments when we, really say how we're feeling, being authentic. That is the gold.
Yeah.
And it also ties into pursuing passions. And I've always said this, and Adam, Michael, everybody, this is a cool section because I've always said, I'm going to equate passion with purpose.
Okay.
And you remember how, we always say that there are, Steve Games on his Fired Up Friday basically read that quote from Oprah Winfrey that said, the greatest gift that you can have is living out your life's calling. That's Oprah's line, is living your life's calling is the greatest gift that you can have. So, but most people don't know what their calling is.
Right. How do you find your calling?
So I'd say it's kind of like 95-5 or the 90-10 rule, that a lot of people aren't even quite sure why they're here on this planet and what their purpose is. Yeah, maybe it's to be a mom, maybe it's to inspire people, maybe it's to be the fastest runner, maybe it's to help, build the most amazing technology tools, maybe it's to be a nurse, whatever it may be. But she has a little small section here of finding your passion and purpose and why Jenny is here. And I liked it because people always ask, and when we do our life planning and we're trying to figure it out, remember how hard I worked this year? I'm trying to do with it. So here's how she says, and Sonia, I think you'll like this too. So yeah, selling real estate is great, but selling real estate is most likely an ends to a mean. Being a successful contractor is an ends to a mean. That's not necessarily, I mean, building someone's house is super cool. And we are selling, you know, the number one, we're selling happiness and the dream.
Yeah,
okay? And
the
that's
biggest
cool.
thing.
So
Yeah.
for some of them, that might be their passion. But so here's how you find your passion according to her, and I liked it. Number one, I'm going to ask you, Jenny. What are you curious about? That's the first thing. What are you curious about? And here's the next thing. What can you not stop thinking about? Whether it's a hobby, whether it's your kids, whether it's your grandkids, but what are you curious about and what can you not stop thinking about? And this one I thought was great. You're going to like this one, boys. You ready? What causes you to envy someone else? You know those people that you're like, oh God, look at Chuck up there at a dick on his show and thinking he's all great, you know, and whatever. But maybe there's a message there. Maybe the message is this is something you would like to do. You know what I'm saying? So what you envy about someone else can be your passion.
Yeah,
it can
for
lead
sure.
you to what you want to do. What are you smiling about over there?
Oh, I have that thought every morning. I'm here. I'm like, oh, look at Chuck in his show.
It's because you
Like a
literally,
dick.
we know
Wait,
why.
He can say that because we're on TV, but later on you're going to pay for that. No, I'm just kidding. So you know, and so if you find that, you know, or maybe it's an author, or maybe it's something about a speaker that you saw on Fired Up Friday that you just really, something about you just maybe didn't like them, or, you know, and or some jealousy or something. So I think if you were to look into some woman, you know, that maybe you watch her social media and she's like, oh God, I hate this chick. Maybe there's something there, Jenny.
Totally. I agree 1,000,000%. A 1,000,000%.
So what do you think about that, Sonia? Maybe that is a way that we can help find our passion, is by looking at what other people are doing and what you envy. You know, I mean, and there are a couple people that I can think of right now that I envy, and the reason I envy them is because they're living part of the dream that I'm not. You know? So what do you think about that, Sonia?
Well, I think anyone who finds their passion can find success.
True.
It's finding the passion that can be the challenge. But once you find it, you know, even in real estate, we look for what are you passionate about in real estate? What is it? It's not just about helping people or making a difference. There's more to it. So find what that feeds you, what makes you get up in the morning about real estate, and build on that.
Right.
Maybe the technology, maybe it's the connection. There's so many different things, but it does make a difference in your life.
For sure, for sure. So I like that though. I thought that was cool. You know, and then once you find out what you're, you know, zealous of or whatever, you know, you can YouTube it, you can read about it, you can talk about it, you can take classes on it, you know, whatever. So we're almost there. We're almost done, guys. So, and maybe it's gourmet. Maybe it's you wanted to be a gourmet chef. Maybe, you know, Mike Duffy always likes screenwriting. You know, and basically just find out what that little teeny tiny passion is, and start building momentum in whatever your interest is. And next thing you know, like Oprah said, the greatest gift is to live out your calling. You know, and I got to be honest with you, you're wonderful. You look great on camera. People relate with you. Like, this might be part of it for you, Jenny.
Thanks.
True story. You know, so, and my guess is, and I have a question for you, on Monday mornings, do you get excited to wake up and go work on this because you know we're going to do this today?
Oh, yeah. Normally it really helps.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that means you found something you like.
No, for
And that's
sure.
what we all got to do. We got to find something we like. you
Yeah.
know? And
What about you?
Oh, I like it too, yeah. No, I like this. Well, and it's cool because I get to read all these books. You know what I mean? And hey, don't log off real quick, guys, because we're going
It's
to...
really cool because we don't have to read the book.
Tom Wysocki just said, Jenny, it shows.
Aw, thanks, Tommy.
And it feels good when you do it. But please stay on, because I'm going to ask you guys some quick questions.
Yeah, don't leave.
And she said that her #1 favorite book of all time is The Alchemist, which is so funny because that's mine. It's one of my top 10 for sure. And it talks about how the universe conspires to help you when you follow your heart.
Then you should do that one next because I'm never going to read it.
Well, you never know. And check this out. So one of the greatest books of all time, The Alchemist.
Let me see. Okay.
Right?
Oh, it's small.
One of the greatest books. And it's big font. You can do it. All right. So, but the kicker is, when Coelho wrote this book, the first week he sold 1 copy. Within 6 months, he'd only sold 2 copies. All right, and this went on to be one of the treasure chest books of all time. You know, so, and he was very disheartened by it. You know, but his heart made him made him write this. So, you know, it's pretty cool. So, but I gotta keep on. So,
sorry.
So don't tell people your dreams, show them. And you know, kind of enriching relationships is how they do it. But so as she starts talking about relationships, because again, and this is the end of the book, and so now she's coming to the things that she thinks are most important.
Okay.
There are only, so if we agree that lives are about relationships, right? So our conversation here, my relationship with Sonia, with Tom, with Janie, with John Hill, with all that stuff, like, that's life. Life is about the relationships that you have with others, with Adam and Michael, with everybody.
It's the only reason I live.
It's the truth, right? And we're all in the relationship business. And she said there's only 2 words of advice you need to improve any relationship.
Okay.
Ready? Say it. Whatever you're feeling, whatever you're thinking, I kind of be careful sometimes, right? But say it. And that's one of the things that she was talking about in this book. And, you know, leave nothing unimportant said. I was talking to, I won't say his name, but he was in the military. He was in the Marines, retired Marine. And he came from a family where his dad hadn't seen it since he was 6 and all this stuff. Well, he had a lieutenant that took him under his wings. And he ended up being an accomplished Marine, you know, doing amazing things, you know, I mean, everything you could dream of. And he meant to call that lieutenant, and because that lieutenant was there his whole career, supporting him and helping him be better and pulling him in and talking to him and doing all these things. And 3 times in the last 3 months, and he died, the lieutenant died. He never got to say thank you. He never got to tell him how much it meant and what a gigantic frickin' impact that lieutenant had on his life. And 3 times in the last probably 3 months, he has talked about his regrets of not telling him what a massive impact he had in his life and that he wouldn't be the same person. He wouldn't have the levels of success. He wouldn't have accomplished anything near what he has if it were not for that lieutenant. So I thought about that when she was basically saying, leave nothing important unsaid. And you know what? A lot of times intimacy, and when I'm not talking about, you know, that kind of intimacy, I'm just talking about the closeness of a relationship, that takes courage too.
It's the hardest thing.
You know what I mean? But those conversations with your parents, with your friends, acknowledging, you know, like somebody that supports you. You know, I mean, I tell Adam, and Adam knows this, I appreciate him. We couldn't be doing any of this. He's making an impact. He's doing good things. But you have to tell them, you know, and a lot of times, next thing you know, somebody's gone. Sonia puts up with all my shit. Sonia, I love you. You've been a great second mom to me. You know what I mean? Tom, you're great. I love your heart, buddy. You know what I mean? But there's so many things go by that are unsaid, you know? So she's saying 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Say it.
Say it, you know, because there's just so many things that go unsaid. If you're proud of your daughters or your kids, tell them. You know, if somebody made an impact on you, tell them. And that's the deeper relationships. And I think that might be what it's all about.
I think that is.
I think it's a big one. It's a big one. So, and you know what? I thought that was cool. So
that's really good.
And there are conversations that you want to have with your significant other that sometimes, or with other people that we just ignore. Because they're hard conversations to have, even if they're good.
But you have to say, like she has said, I'm not kidding. Jeremy and I literally said that yesterday. You have to say it. And it's so crazy that that's what you just said.
Yeah, I mean,
we literally texted that yesterday to each other.
Being honest, you know, with yourself and with them, and you know, we fail to appreciate the profound power that's inside of the smallest conversations, and in our relationships. So, and you know, Walt Disney said, you know, it doesn't even matter. I mean, I'm getting all freaked out, but because there are people that we should probably pick up the phone and call. And I think I'm pretty good about building those relationships. Yeah. And you guys as real estate agents and as salespeople too, there's something about all of your clients that you're dealing with, you know, and hey, you know, Bill, I just want to tell you something, man, and I mean this, and this is sincere. I want you to know how much I appreciate your positive attitude. And every time I get to work with you, you make me feel good. How would that feel to say to a client? That's connection. That's depth. That's going to beat Zillow. That's going to beat, you know, all these people trying to steal clients and do all that sort of stuff. So that connection piece of connecting on that deeper level is everything. So in conclusion of the book, she did a quote from Walt Disney, and it's, all of our dreams can come true if we just have the courage to pursue them. Do you agree?
Yes.
All of your dreams can come true if you just have the courage to pursue them.
Yep.
And for everybody out there, after reading this book, you know, today something incredible is going to happen for you. But you got to help make it happen. And it might not just be you, but someone out there is going to start a book. Someone's going to send a great text and get a multi-million-dollar listing. Yep. Somebody is going to do things that hopefully they wouldn't have done using the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And someone's going to say something hopefully to a significant other that's going to change their relationship in a positive way forever. You know what I mean? And that could be really, really cool. And she kind of uses the Dr. Seuss quote. She says, you know, using this rule we can move mountains. But whatever does happen in your future, you'll never be in this moment again, this exact spot again. So right now, what can you do? Who can you call? What clients can I reach out to? What significant others can I tell how much I appreciate? You know, what anxieties can I try to get over? Can I bench? Can I reframe? You know, what sorts of things can you do to make sure that you're living out your best life? And again, you know, the 5-second rule can change it forever. And like she said in the book, when your heart speaks, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, make that move. Listen to your heart, and each moment of courage, can change your day.
Yeah.
And together, those little ones add up to change your week, and then you can change your life, and then you can change your world. So, bottom line, there's greatness in everybody, and everybody has a purpose and a
Yes.
passion. And so the time to travel and to go do it all is now. So ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. So that's the end of the book.
I love it.
How did you guys think? Did you guys like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1? You didn't even have to read it,
Yeah.
right? Did you like it, Adam?
I loved it.
Did you really? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, cool.
I have a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 for everyone in the group here.
Go for it.
Thank you for everyone for sharing the post. We love it. One thing I would really love to see is if it pops up in your Facebook feed and something in today's session really struck a chord with you, feel free to leave a comment and tell us what the most important thing from today's lesson was.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
That'd be nice. And then
We want
last,
to know what you're thinking. So.
last but not least, we have a few books that we want to go through, Jenny.
Yes.
Un-F yourself. Get out of your head and get into your life. This could be the next one. The Alchemist.
Okay. Dig it.
You Are a Badass. How to Stop Doubting Your Greatness and Start Living an Awesome Life by Jen Sincero. Shake It Up. Big Dreams and Bold Choices on the Road to Success. Atomic Habits. That's a big one. The 10 Times Rule by Grant Cardone.
Okay.
Or Believe It. How to Go from Underestimated to Unstoppable. Does anybody have any choices on those books that they would like? If you could type it into the chat. Un-F Yourself. You Are a Badass. Atomic Habits. Shake It Up. The Alchemist or Believe It. So, and I keep thinking, I'm coming back to you, Janie. Janie, you had mentioned that you thought it would be cool if we did like some biographies and stuff like that. I thought it would be interesting to do The Alchemist because it's a story. It's not 101 exercises for your soul. Number 1, don't be a dickhead. This is literally like different. It's more of a story. You know what I mean? What?
It's very simple. Just don't be a dickhead.
I mean, that rule encompasses all of it. Right?
Yeah,
It really
Be a
does.
dickhead,
That's all you need to know.
You'll get far in life.
So what's your pick, Jenny?
Because I'm being truly selfish, I have to say The Alchemist because I've heard about it for the past 9 years now, and I've never taken the time. And let's be honest, if it's not about pop culture, I probably won't.
Okay.
I think that'd be fun. I know
Okay.
myself.
Well, let's see. We've got Tom Wysocki said The Alchemist.
Oh.
Dana said The Alchemist. Elizabeth Moore said she likes the title of Un-F Yourself.
Me too. Me too.
And then Michael Wysocki says The Alchemist. Let's do The Alchemist.
Okay, and then we'll move on to go F Yourself and
Yep, we'll get on to them all.
BA and all that.
All right, guys. Well, thank you guys very much. I hope you enjoyed the book. I did. So let's get a move on. And we appreciate it. You guys sharing everything and all that stuff. And I appreciate you guys tuning in. As long as you do, we'll keep doing it.
Yep.
So,
as long as you want us.
So thank you guys. If you guys need anything, reach out. Let us know.
Yeah.
We love you guys all. And Adam, we're out.
Cool.
Take care.
Bye.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're out.